In Punjab, 20% of the good lawyers say sorry. In Andhra Pradesh, 30% said sorry. In Bombay, 90%, 95% say sorry. Reason is very simple. As lawyer, somebody earning 1.5 crores per month, why would he come and accept an assignment for 1.5 lakhs of rupees? Despite all so-called glory of the post or the power which we think the Supreme Court and the High Court possesses, which is again a misnomer, unfortunately or fortunately, they don't want to join. And then, worst is there is a lack of commitment. In the judiciary, in the bureaucracy, and in parliament and legislatures, we want people with commitment. Commitment to the cause of the people and cause of justice. It is not the justice which is done in the court alone. Justice is done at every level, wherever it is possible, because all of us are entrusted by the Constitution with the duty to serve the people. But unfortunately, after independence, we have converted this duty into power. I will digress for a moment and tell you, all of you think that the state has got three instruments, three components, who are given certain powers: judiciary, executive and the legislature. They have been given certain powers, and everybody talks of the separation of the powers and overreach, etc., etc. They take that the judiciary is encroaching on the power of the legislature. Sometimes executive says that the legislature is encroaching on our power. Those are all unmindful people. They don't know that they are public servants of the people. All are servants of the people. This is what Dr. Rajendra Prasad had said on 14th of August 1947 in his opening speech to the Constituent Assembly. You are servants of the people, and particularly telling the representatives of the people and the executive apparatus, till then, till now, you were rulers, but forget this tag. You are now servants of the people. We have forgotten altogether that. I always considered that those who have been entrusted with the task, whether in parliament or legislature, whether in executive by selection, whether in judiciary by selection, they are all entrusted with certain duties. And if they perform their duties, which unfortunately today's younger generation of the lawyers is not inclined to do, the things can't improve. Apart from the non-availability of adequate number of persons with commitment to the cause of justice and the public interest, one reason which is responsible for delays is that we have not adopted a system of governance of judiciary, and there is no mechanism for continuing education and training. I have always felt, whether in the High Court of Rajasthan or Punjab, Haryana or Gujarat or Andhra Pradesh or Supreme Court, that judges at every level must be educated. They must undergo refresher course. Because what we thought when we were students of law, what legal education we received at that time may not be adequate to deal with the multiple challenges posed by the modern systems which have been developed in our country. For example, surrogacy. We never heard of that. It's a new phrase coined in the last 10 years. We did not have the occasion to deal with interstate adoptions. We did not have the idea of cyber crimes. All these need training. New sciences have come. New technologies have come. Judges have got to equip themselves. I will now come to an important facet. how the system operates. From 1985, we went for tribunalization. I hope you understand the word tribunalization. We replaced the regular court system with the tribunals, saying the same thing. The slogan was the same. Regular courts are not in a position to deal with complex and complicated issues, and the matters remain pending with them for years together. This is, of course, the slogan. We first created the Central Administrative Tribunal, which is popularly called as CAT. One by one, we created tribunals, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have now almost 100 tribunals operating. Now, the sinister design of this is very peculiar. Common man will never understand this. Will never understand this. They will create a tribunal, one in the entire state. Luckily for CAT, we have got a bench at Jaipur. National Green Tribunal, recent phenomena, 2010. They have got principal seat at Delhi and benches at 4 places: Chennai, Bhopal, Pune, and Kolkata. Kolkata is just to become operational. Most interesting example of it, on the one hand, they talk of taking justice to the doorsteps of the people, Gram Nyayalayas, doorstep to the people. And on the other hand, they create such an apparatus where the people can't even imagine of going to the particular system of administration of justice. Look at the tragedy. Look at the way in which the central government functions and how it effectively makes the system removed from the people. National Green Tribunal is a story which I will never forget during my lifetime. We were hearing a SLP against an order passed by Delhi High Court. Interesting. People should sometime know about it. When the Environment Appellate Authority was constituted by the government, they appointed a former judge of the Supreme Court as chairman, with a condition that he will get all his emoluments and perquisites minus pension, which is usual, nothing wrong. After the expiry of his tenure, the second person was appointed, but they said that his salary will not be the same. His perks will not be the same. So some of the lawyers filed a petition, how could you do that? So the High Court ultimately, after hearing some arguments, said that you treat him at par with his predecessor. They brought the matter to the Supreme Court. During pendency, they created National Green Tribunal Act 2010. And you won't believe, it took full 2 years to the Supreme Court, 2.5 years to the Supreme Court to ensure that a chairman is appointed, to ensure that expert and judicial members are appointed, to ensure that they are provided a space to sit. Can you imagine that the tribunal was functioning in Delhi from a room measuring not more than 10 feet by 20 feet? And one of the members was living in a space, total space, available to the judicial member who was the acting Chief Justice of Odisha High Court, was not more than 10 to 14 feet, no other space. Other members, no accommodation. The poor fellows had to live in their state guest houses, ultimately vacate and resign from the post. And such an important tribunal which affects the whole nation, environment and ecology, which is a threat to the future generation of the country, and 4 tribunals. Kindly imagine how the people from Rajasthan will have access to the National Green Tribunal at Delhi. How many will afford? How many people from the central India will be able to afford to go to Bhopal? How many people from the northeast will be able to approach Calcutta or Chennai for that reason? And of course, an interesting adjunct of it is these tribunals are created to provide space for retired people. And this is how they want to project before the people that the regular courts have failed in dispensation of justice. Therefore, we have created alternative mechanism for expeditious adjudication of cases. Dear friends, I can inform without any hesitation of contradiction, in most of the tribunals, the positions remain vacant for months together. And the arrears continue to pile. They do not go down. They do not vanish. But the problem of the judiciary itself is something very unique. On one thing which is there has been no control at all. Unfortunately, though, one singular factor which is responsible for there we must be beaten is the adjournment. All of you must have seen a movie sometimes back. There the hero of the movie, while arguing the matter in the court, artificial court, he said what happens in the court ultimately. That's a Urdu word he uses, the tariq pe tariq pe tariq pe tariq pe tariq. And it's true. It's true. In large number of cases it is true. Right from the grassroots level to the highest in the country, adjournment is the rule. Unfortunately, everybody wants to remain popular with the bar. I have always talked to my colleagues and my younger colleagues that till the judiciary understand to become unpopular among the members of the bar, the things can't improve. The day you decide that you will be unpopular, you will not give adjournments, and you will ensure that the man who has come, who is justice seeker, get justice at appropriate and opportune moment, the system will lose its credibility. It has unfortunately lost its credibility. And particularly in the criminal justice dispensation. But before I come to criminal justice, I will tell you one thing extraordinarily interesting. All of you are enamored of CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation. I had the good or bad fortune of dealing with a matter in which CBI was involved. A case happened of high-speed diesel, 1,000 crores Gapla in Gujarat. Case was entrusted to CBI at the asking of the High Court. Case was under investigation when the accused found, the so-called accused found that they are being tightened up. They ensured that the investigating officer is shifted. High Court stayed the transfer of the investigating officer. Union of India went to the Supreme Court, somehow they got a stay. After 8 years, the matter came up for hearing. After 8 years. Not even a single date between 2003 to 2011. So we called the investigating officer. He said, sir, Chanan has been filed last year. So our next query was how many years it will take. He said, sir, 10 years. We thought that we will record an order of acquittal right now because after 19 years, no, not a shred of evidence will be available. But we were still so curious to know why it is happening. He said, sir, 452 cases are pending in that court. A special court, 452 cases. So our query was, if you are to get a case decided in CBI court in 1 year, how many cases are required to be there? He said, sir, 50. Anyway, we discovered that the Prime Minister of India had written a letter on 29th of July 2007 to all the Chief Ministers to create 65 additional special courts, and most of the Chief Ministers did not pay heed to it. We also discovered that 50% of the posts in CBI were vacant. With goading for 2 years, we ensured that 71 additional courts are created and made functional. At least 60% of the vacant posts were filled up. But kindly imagine how much time of the court was invested in the process. 30 hearings, 15 minutes every day, 2 judges, and the entire court system. Criminal justice system unfortunately has suffered in the country for last 5 decades, and badly suffered. And people's confidence in the system is at the lowest. One example is enough to tell you the truth about the criminal justice system. Police, less said is better, not because they are bad, but the very recruitment at the grassroots suffers from lot of defects. A full debate can take place on the recruitment at the grassroots level in the police, the investigating agency. Despite the reports of several commissions and the orders of the court, the state has not bothered to separate the investigating wing from law and order. One does not know whose interest it is. If the investigation is proper by chance, and we have no doubt that the investigating officer honestly do their job, then comes the prosecution. And there you will be surprised. Across the country, public prosecutors are now being engaged on contract basis. Like state law officers, the public prosecutors used to be engaged on considerations other than merit. People in Rajasthan would never know that in Punjab, state represented in the High Court is 181 law officers. And in Ludhiana district, where there are 17 session judges plus 16 additional session judges, there were 3 public prosecutors. And the same is the story throughout the country. Even additional Solicitor General who appeared in the CBI matter suggested to us, sir, permit us to engage the public prosecutors on contract basis. We had to use a very strong expression against this suggestion made by the additional Solicitor General and ensure that the recruitment is made on regular basis. But how long? So the prosecution investigation is defective and tardy. The prosecution is thoroughly defective. Ultimately results in what? Accused going scot-free. And something very, very bad which happens in the criminal cases, particularly when influential persons are involved, senior advocates are engaged. I am told now, because I am far removed from the trial court practices, now I am told that when the examination in chief is done, the cross-examination is not done on that day. 3 to 4 adjournments are sought by the defense counsel, or till then, till the time the witness is won over by the defense, and then the cross-examination is done, the case obviously falls. If the judicial officer is tough, then either complaints are made against him to the High Court, or a transfer application is moved. Sir is biased. This is the story getting repeated in almost every case. Sorry, the senior members of the bar are very much involved in this. But nobody wants to take cognizance of this. I pity the poor judicial officer who is faced with such scenario. Unless we make drastic changes in the system at the grassroots level, and ensure that good and competent persons are in the saddle. Unless the people become aware of their rights, perhaps we may not be able to find a ready solution of the problem of pendency of cases and increase public confidence in the system of administration of justice. लेकिन इन सब में सबसे बड़ी भागीदारी होगी आप लोगों की, जो नई पीढ़ी है, जो नई पीढ़ी में से ही अच्छे अधिवक्ता होंगे, जिनका कमिटमेंट होना चाहिए न्याय के प्रति। अगर आपका कमिटमेंट नहीं है तो आप इस प्रोफेशन को ज्वाइन मत करिए। इट्स ए पायस रोल द गॉड हैज गिवन टू यू। मैं नहीं चाहता कि आप यंग लोग हमारी उम्र में आकर के ये रियलाइज करें कि ईश्वर ने हमें कुछ और रोल दिया तो हमने कुछ और किया। कोशिश यही करिए कि हम जिस स्वतंत्र भारत के नागरिक हैं उसकी स्वतंत्रता वास्तविक रूप में अक्षुण्ण रहे, और वह तभी संभव है। संविधान में निहित बहुत सारे आदर्श हैं। हम सब बात करते हैं फ्रीडम्स की, लेकिन शायद बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है संविधान के अनुच्छेद 4A को पढ़ने की, 51A, 51A। अगर उसको आप सब आत्मसात कर लें तो शायद आने वाले समय में भारत का एक नया रूप होगा। मेरा कहने का अर्थ यही है, अगर हम सब लोग अपने कर्तव्यों का निर्वहन करें तो हमारे साथ में चलने वाला जो भारतीय है उसके राइट्स तो अपने आप प्रोटेक्ट हो जाएंगे। अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमारे यहां ओवर एम्फेसिस है फ्रीडम पर। 1950 से सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 50 to 70 ओवर एम्फेसिस किया, फिर ड्यूटीज के प्रति सजग हुए, फिर हम अधिकारों की बातें करते हैं। इंडिविजुअल से पहले समाज है, पहले देश है। अगर हम उसकी सेवा नहीं कर सकते हैं तो ये जीवन व्यर्थ है। मैं आशा करता हूं कि मैंने जो आपसे वार्तालाप किया है उससे आपको न्याय प्रणाली के बारे में कुछ जो भ्रांतियां हैं आपके दिमाग में, आपके मन में, शायद दूर करने में मुझे सफलता मिली है। और आगे इस संवाद को जारी रखिए, क्योंकि संवादहीन समाज तो एक मृत समाज के समान है। और यह सबसे बड़ा ड्रॉबैक है जो भारतीय समाज में आ गया है पिछले 20 सालों में, संवादहीनता की स्थिति। उसको समाप्त करें। मैं आशा करता हूं कि जगदीश चंद्र जी और उनके सहयोगी इस संवाद को एक से एक के रूप में परिवर्तित करके और आगे बढ़ाने का प्रयत्न करेंगे। एक बहुत अच्छी शुरुआत है। अमूमन जो टीवी पर संवाद किया जाता है उसमें देखा जाता है कि वही के वही लोग 4 या 5 या 10, 20 वो सब में एक्सपर्ट्स हैं। वो हर विषय पे अपने विचार व्यक्त करते हैं, चाहे उसकी जानकारी हो या नहीं हो। लेकिन जब तक समाज का हर वर्ग, हर तबका इस संवाद में शामिल नहीं होगा, आप सक्सेसफुल नहीं माने जाएंगे। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद सिंघवी साहब। मैं आपको ईटीवी राजस्थान परिवार की ओर से ये आश्वस्त करता हूं कि ईटीवी अपनी इस सामाजिक पहल में पीछे नहीं रहेगा। ये जो आज सार्थक बहस आज शुरू हुई है, इसे इसके मुकाम तक पहुंचाने का पूरा प्रयास किया जाएगा श्री जगदीश चंद्र के नेतृत्व में, उनके दिशा निर्देशन में। आपने जो चैलेंजेस हैं इंडियन जुडिशरी के सामने, उनको विस्तार से सामने रखा और कई ऐसी बातें सामने रखी हैं जो कि आम आदमी और शायद कानून के लिए काम करने वाले लोगों के लिए भी नई थी या जिनकी जटिलता समझ से परे थी। मैं एक बार फिर से आपका हार्दिक धन्यवाद करता हूं कि आपने ईटीवी का निमंत्रण कबूल किया, यहां आए और अपने उद्बोधन से न केवल यहां मौजूद लोग बल्कि ईटीवी के लाखों करोड़ों दर्शकों को भी लाभान्वित किया। अब मैं ईटीवी परिवार की ओर से आज के इस मौके को यादगार बनाने के लिए मैं अनुरोध करूंगा जगदीश चंद्र जी से कि वो एक सोवेनियर भेंट करें जीएस सिंघवी साहब को। और अब मैं मंच पर आमंत्रित करूंगा ईटीवी राजस्थान के संपादकीय सलाहकार ईशमधु तलवार को, वो धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करें।
मुझे क्षमा करें कि मैंने माइक वापस पकड़ा। मैंने आपको जिस ध्येय से अंतिम पंक्तियां कही थी उसको बाकायदा कार्य रूप देने के लिए मैं आपसे कहूंगा जगदीश चंद्र जी की जो आप नेक्स्ट संवाद रखें उसमें जो सभागार में उपस्थित जनसमूह हैं उनके यदि प्रश्न हैं तो उनका उत्तर देना मेरा दायित्व है। तो आज तो भले आप समय की आप सीमाओं को ध्यान में रखते हुए न करें, लेकिन निश्चित रूप से अगला जो संवाद हो उसमें कोई भाषण नहीं चाहिए, उसमें सिर्फ प्रश्न और उनके उत्तर जरूर इसका आयोजन करिए। मैं हमेशा आप लोगों से एक निवेदन जरूर करूंगा, आप ऐसे विषय में जब प्रश्न करें तो किसी ऐसे विशेष मुकदमे के बारे में नहीं करें जो किसी अदालत में लंबित हो, क्योंकि उसके बारे में मेरे जैसे किसी भी व्यक्ति को किसी भी तरह की टिप्पणी करना उचित नहीं होगा।
आदरणीय सिंघवी जी, उपस्थित महानुभाव, आप सबका ईटीवी परिवार की ओर से मैं हार्दिक धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करता हूं कि आप लोग यहां आए और इस आयोजन को सफल बनाया। आप सभी का ईटीवी परिवार की ओर से बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, धन्यवाद। आप सब अल्पाहार के लिए, स्वल्पाहार के लिए, चाय के लिए आमंत्रित हैं, कृपया पधारिए।
नाज़रीन, आप देख रहे थे जयपुर में ईटीवी के ज़ेर-ए-एहतमाम हिंदुस्तानी अदलिया के सामने चैलेंजेस सेमिनार का आप रास्त मुशाहिदा कर रहे थे, जिसमें चीफ स्पीकर ऑनरेबल जस्टिस जीएस सिंघवी, रिटायर्ड सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया ने खिताब किया है। वक्त एक ब्रेक का, ब्रेक के बाद फिर लौटेंगे।
भाग जहां तक भाग सकती है और जहां भी रुकेगी सरहद की तरह मुझे पाएगी।
रंग रसिया 30 दिसंबर से सोमवार से शुक्रवार रात 9:30 बजे सिर्फ कलर्स पर।
चेहरे पर किसी भी प्रकार के दाग धब्बे आपका असली चेहरा छीन सकते हैं। ट्राई मिलाज स्किन क्रीम, इसको सिर्फ रात में इस्तेमाल करने से आपको मिले फेस प्रॉब्लम से आजादी। अब फेस प्रॉब्लम को कहिए बाय बाय।
अगर सीमेंट जंग रोधक न हो तो जानलेवा हो सकता है। श्री अल्ट्रा रेड ऑक्साइड, भारत का एकमात्र जंग रोधक सीमेंट।
Developing lifestyles, developing opportunity, developing taste, developing the future, developing trust, developing dreams, developing faith. Amrapali Group, developing India.
दक्कन की हर छोटी बड़ी सरगर्मी पर हमारी नजर, लेकिन आप तक पहुंचाते हैं सिर्फ वो खबर जो करे आपको बेदार। सियासत के गलियारों से
He will not be an ally of Kiran Kumar